Good afternoon, Cathy, and thank you very much for joining me on Business Owner Spotlight this week. Please go ahead, introduce yourself, and let us know a bit about what you do.
Yeah, so my name's Cathy Brennan. Thanks very much for inviting me. I have just this week launched my business, Resourceful Planner. I launched it on Tuesday evening at Queen's University Management School in conjunction with Women in Business and Lean In Belfast network, and I'm launching a financial coaching and money mentor business. So it's quite a new form of a solution within financial services, and two aspects to it. Of course, you've got the coaching, which is client led. And then also the money mentor would be more directive, them working alongside an individual so that they can make informed financial decisions.
It sounds really interesting and a totally different take on it. So I'm excited to hear a bit more. How have you found the first 72 hours of being in business?
Well, I haven't actually done anything other than launch and had coffee chats. But yeah, I'm a busy mum.
Sure.
So this decision is really around my lifestyle. I have twin girls who are 11, and I'm trying to get them shipped off to a big school, as we say in Northern Ireland. So I then have a younger son who's 9, and I've calculated that it could be 29 before I get him off the financial books. So
first 30 years are the worst.
Yeah, with a 20-year horizon, I'm just taking things slowly, because it is more to adapt in with home life, and so to really work out the people that I want to work with and support. So really this week is just about PR. So thank you for helping me make that shameless plug.
Yes, absolutely. Look, I mean, that's let's get the word out there. And look, I was being a bit flippant about the 72 hours because obviously you didn't just land on this decision. So it's been a journey to get to here. And what has that been like? I mean, you talked a little bit about why you're doing it, which is really cool. So what's it been like to get to the stage of launching and have that courage to do it?
Yes, well, I have spent 25 years in financial services, 20 years giving advice. So telling clients what to do and then saying, I will do all that for you. So like everyone had a bit of a tough time during lockdown, that inward thinking of really what is life all about. One of the mottos would be, life is for living, have no regrets.
Yeah.
And I had been reading about, that people think they're going to live forever, and that's why they never get around to doing things.
Yeah, it's always tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah, and I have always worked for corporates, and through some reading, I have realized that I'm fiercely independent.
Okay.
So I maybe just wasn't, sure that another corporate role would have allowed me to flourish and thrive, which is really what I want to do. And because I have made this transition away from corporate life, that had to, start off with a financial decision.
Sure.
In order for me to, create the space and give myself time financially to think of what my next step could be. So I would feel that other women or individuals who are in that situation, who have that desire to, I'd like to do something that I really love. I'd like to do it on my terms, and financially, can I make it work? Those individuals, I think that I would really be able to help. So that transformational change, but through the lens of money and their relationship with money and what would be holding them back. And then perhaps putting on the mentor hat, where I'm saying, okay, well, I can do it alongside you, but ultimately then they are going to feel more empowered
Yeah.
Because when I look back at my previous role where, I'll tell you what to do and I'll do it all for you, it's quite disempowering.
Sure.
So
Yeah,
that's
so really this is changing people's relationship with money and empowering them to take control of their own money and their own destiny, but there's a mentorship there if they decide to avail of it.
yes. So looking at with the coaching hat on, it would be looking at the emotional relationship with money, and then what practical steps can they take to further understand how they are and what they think of money. All of our inbuilt money beliefs are formed by the age of 7.
Right. Yeah.
So if someone, full disclosure, I'm 47, so I'm coming along 40 years later, so through the financial coaching practitioner training that I embarked on last year, it allowed me to work on my own money story.
Yeah.
And what thoughts and beliefs that I have. And that was really enlightening.
Yeah, because you form those beliefs with no frame of reference, you don't.
Well, it's, what you have heard your parents or your peers, society, your community. And based in Northern Ireland, we're brought up, don't talk about religion, politics, and money is just the same.
Yeah, the root of all evil.
Light. Yeah. That, even your reference, the root of all evil, it would be unpicking that. So what has made you, where have you got that belief from?
Sure. And of course you're going to repel evil then, so you repel money.
Yeah. So one of my earliest memories would have been, my granny buying me a rah-rah skirt. Okay. And it wasn't with money, it was vouchers. So it was obviously coupons. So I became aware that money came in many different forms. And my grandmother actually worked in her parents' grocery shop in the market. It was called McGlade's. It's not there anymore. When the market area was redeveloped, the shop was demolished. But when Granny closed the shop, she wanted to buy all of her customers a gift, but it was a list, a book of credit. So the people actually owed her money. So it's funny how all of those conversations around money just happened in the periphery and what I absorbed.
Yeah.
So from a young age, I was aware of money, debt, and death. My grandfather died at 52. Granny was only 48. So, she became a young widow. I was her only grandchild, and she had 8 children. So the stories that you have heard in the family, my grandfather was a painter and decorator, and I remember my mom and her sisters going and settling those debts with, different trade counters. So all of that going on in the subconscious, and perhaps knowing that family members weren't provided for in those what if scenarios, it's made me realize that that was how I managed to come into financial services. So probably deep down inside, could it have been that you're seeking that security, that understanding of money, wanting to control, wanting to be independent, and know that that you're well provided for in your own right without even joining in a relationship.
So it sounds like you've had to do a lot of looking inside, a lot of reflection to get to this point, and it seems like that's been a really worthwhile journey for you. And you mentioned something earlier. I'm just curious. It seems like you've really niched down on the kind of people that you want to work with. Is that right?
Yes. I mean, I'm not excluding men and other genders, but I do feel that the statistics, at the launch event, we had lecturers at Queen's who had undertaken research. And I mean, the stats are really alarming. The women are financially capable, but we don't appear to have the confidence. So I would have said in my corporate life, I would have said that women save and men invest.
Yes.
you know, and
Yeah.
it's trying to, help women, well, starkly understand the state aren't going to provide for you, and please don't be relying on a partner to be there for you in your old age. So on Tuesday evening, I went through, there's some great research that was done by the Chartered Institute of Insurance, and they had they launched a campaign called Ensuring Women's Futures.
Okay.
And it looks at the moments that matter and the perils and pitfalls throughout a woman's life. So the subjects that we study, whether, will determine our income, our employability, how we progress in terms of salary, and whether we choose to have children or not, and how women are having children later in life. So you could be faced in that sandwich situation where you've got a young family, you're juggling work, and then you could have aging parents. Plus, we've got our hormones raging throughout this life journey. And then illness, and partners, passing away or breaking up, so having to start again. And we also have greater exposure to domestic abuse and financial abuse. So with the Domestic Abuse Act that was brought in, that made me think of the vulnerable groups and how women have to start again. And really, given 25 years in financial services, I wanted to have more of an impact and leave a legacy. And
that's
good.
That's what I was thinking. It seems like your target market has come from a place where you can add the most value.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's so much more than just good financial advice. It's empowerment.
Yes. So moving away, I would look at, for those 20 years that I was a financial advisor, a financial planner, I focused on circumstances. So income, rental properties, value of your home, what you were doing in your business. If you had children, did you aspire for them to go to university? Do we need to plan for that? But I didn't ask, are you happy? And throughout that career, looking back, I truly know that money doesn't bring people happiness. It's just something else to worry about.
Yeah. So it's taking that worry away is what you want to do.
Yes. Well, it's if you have control. So if you're aware, so if you raise your awareness, you educate yourself on financial matters, or you work with someone to do that, then you're able to make informed decisions. Yeah. So women, women and men, there's so much information out there. You've got the Money and Pension Service, you've got good old Martin Lewis, who everyone raves about. Yeah. So there's loads of information, but it's that we don't act on it, or we don't know how to convert that. Yes. So I do feel that this role the service that I'm coming to the Northern Ireland market with, will really help individuals make progress. Yeah. Because, we don't want to think that, men's pension funds are typically on average 10 times more than a woman's. We need to act on it, and we need to take the steps. So if you're aware that you're spending so much money on, but you see, the thing is that you're not aware because you're just on autopilot. You're just shopping and buying. And a lot of, the messages now are being mindful, being in the present moment, but that can translate through to your finances where, you're living for today and spending, but not providing for your future self. And actually, I'd wondered if there was a way that I could use some imaging to make me an 80-year-old, and how would I look? And would that help people, resonate that the Cathy today, is going to take control because I want to provide? Yes. For, this this little old lady in the future. And I just can't think of anything worse than, you know, entering into later life and old age and being in poverty.
Yeah, look, I mean, it sounds really inspiring, and actually, you know, it's not just financial advice for the sake of it. It's financial advice to make you happy and to provide it. It sounds fantastic. I'm definitely sold. So sounds really exciting. I'm keen to see then. You know, obviously you're just brand new, just launched it. What's the next couple of years look like, and what do you think the biggest challenges are going to be for getting the business where you want it?
Yeah, me reining myself in, you know, so I have been, I'm really looking to support vulnerable adults. And that could be neurodivergent individuals, disabled entrepreneurs, or individuals who are going through big life changes. And, you know, for women, that could be perimenopausal, and, you know, where you've got perhaps all of these things coming in, bereavements, things that are outside of your control, you know, and it's looking at how can, you know, I get the message out, you know, and support people with some free resources, and also then on a consultancy basis. And I would really love to do some group programs. So I think the issue for me will be, you know, trying to rein myself in, that I'm not, you know, wanting to do everything. So initially I'm going to be starting off doing one-on-one work and work with couples. And through my financial services background and 17 years, I worked in a accountancy practice. So I would have had a lot of joint meetings with private client tax advisors and corporate tax advisors, looking at an individual's family business, you know, and what their extraction,
you
know, how they were going to extract money out of the business. So that would be an area that I really enjoyed. And I also really enjoyed doing employee benefit workshops. So I would
that's very relevant at the minute, isn't it?
Yeah. So looking at, you know, what benefits have you got, what pensions are being available, and, you know, for the individual, I'm really looking at supporting individuals who want to transition, but also, Scott, I want to get the message out to younger folk. Don't wait until you're 60, you know, to do something, because the person that you might want to do that with may no longer be in your life for one reason or another. So it's more that you only live once. And if you want to, you know, do some travel, don't wait till you're 60. You know, make arrangements and plans and organize your finances in such a way that you can do that at a younger age. Because I met a lot of people in later life who perhaps regretted decisions that they had made. You know, they'd worked so hard in their business. It's really just the message of, you've only got one life, one shot at this, and don't put off to tomorrow what you could plan to do at an earlier stage.
Sure. So that leads me on nicely, just to finish up then, Cathy. If you could go back and speak to your 18-year-old self, what piece of advice would you give an 18-year-old Cathy?
So at 18, I realized actually that I wasn't stupid, because I'd got my A levels and got my place at Ulster University, and I was going off to do a 3-year degree in banking and finance. But up until then, from the little old age of 10, 11, having failed the good old 11 plus, I didn't think that I was enough. And unfortunately, that belief, you know, I took that into adulthood and probably into my career. And it's going back and telling that, Cathy, you know, just perhaps be more fiercely independent.
And just stop having that limiting belief.
Yeah.
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 Well, listen, Cathy, I really enjoyed hearing about your new business. I think it sounds really inspiring. I'm excited to see how it unfolds for you. I think you're going to add so much value, and it's value that's needed for a lot of people. So I applaud it, and I wish you well with it. And thank you so much for getting involved on Business Owner Spotlight.
Thank you, and I'll come back and update you, Scott.
I was going to say, let's do that. Let's
Yes,
definitely do that.
You can hold me accountable.
I will. I definitely will. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks a million.